South Africa is a mining country. My granddad was a young guy who left England in 1919 after the First World War. He was 19 years old and he emigrated and came to Durban, where there was a family member who put him into a trading business.
Where was he born?
He was born in London,
okay.
And his dad before him in Poland, so they were immigrants into the UK at the time. And he came out of the East End of London, a very poor kid, with nothing actually. And he ended up, after many sort of adventures and jobs in Johannesburg when he was 33 years old, as a very successful stockbroker. And he was buying and selling shares. A good friend of his was a guy called Bob Hersov, who was a mining engineer, consultant. And in 1933, gold went off the, was released from, the dollar standard. And these young guys who were successful businessmen in Johannesburg and engineers decided that some of the old worked out gold mines would have a second life at a higher gold price, once the gold price was decoupled from gold, from the dollar. And they managed to get a license from the Department of Mining at the time for the old Randklise's gold mine on the East Rand, on the West Rand of Johannesburg, a worked out old gold mine that was no longer economic at the old gold price of $4 a pound. And they decided to start a mining company that would be for the very first time entirely capitalized in South Africa. They figured there was enough money in South Africa, so they went to their mates, guys that had started big retail businesses like OK Bazaars, the Leons and the Foxes and other people. They got options, if you like, on top engineers from goldfields and Rand mines and said, if we can get this license, do you want to come and join this young company? And they used those commitments to go and get the licenses to show the government that they had the means to open up a serious mining endeavour like Randklise's gold mine. And they had a very, very successful listing of Anglo Vaal Consolidated Investments Limited, a new mining house, for the first time fully capitalised in South Africa, 15 times oversubscribed.
As opposed to the UK? As
opposed to the UK or New York or Paris, which was where the capital had come from previously for the gold mines, Bright Mines, Corner House, for goldfields, for the precursor of Anglo-American, which was called Anglo-American because the money came from London and New York. And Anglo Transvaal started as a South African capitalised business, and initially, right from the beginning, the intention was to create a diversified conglomerate where you'd have a house with the means to manage the risks of developing deep-level gold mines, but you would also have the ability to invest opportunistically in sectors that were going to succeed because of the intrinsic growth of the economy of South Africa, which at the time was a booming country, and remained really a growing economy to this day. So right from the start, Anglo Vaal, as it became later called, invested in the cement industry and built the second biggest cement business, in engineering, in consumer goods. After the war, they put together the largest deep-sea fishing fleet and the frozen seafood business in Southern Africa, steel, and a range of other sectors. But at the same time, a lot of money and effort went into discovering new gold mines, not just gold mines, and buying old mines and fixing them up. And so by the 50s, Anglo Vaal had opened up 5 new gold mines in the West Rand, Hartbeesfontein and Zanpan, in the Free State, Virginia, Mariespruit and Lorraine. They'd consolidated the old gold mines in the first area of gold discovery in South Africa in the Barberton Greenstone Belt, in Eastern Transvaal consolidated. Had some old mines around Johannesburg, Randklise's and Village Main Reef. And also got involved in opening up the iron ore and manganese fields in the Northern Cape through a company called Associated Manganese, which was a partnership with a company called Assor. A metallurgist called Guido Secker turned up in 1933-34, asked for backing from this new finance house, Anglo Vaal, and they put up money and formed Associated Manganese, which Anglo Vaal ended up owning just over 50% of, and that became the second biggest producer of iron ore and the second biggest producer of high-grade manganese ore in South Africa, both of them special commodities.